Morning, folks. It's Arnold Piccoli here and Ben Stepkovich to have a chat about the New Zealand Masters and Australian Masters. I'll quickly go through the New Zealand sheet. Number 10, Angela Whiteman. Number 6, Bridget Cassidy. Number 2, Julia Shimone. Number 9, Inga Van Oos, Vice Captain. Jan Fay. Number 7, Jan Niven Wolf. Number 8, Jenny Contran. Number 3, Kate Devaney. Number 4, Kelsey Miller. Number 12, Lisa Thompson. Number 5, Rebecca Brosnan, number 13, and Zoe Firth, number 11.
And
Ben.
from Australia, number 12, Alex Doherty. Number 1, Andrea Van Essen. 7, Belinda Keeley, the vice captain. Number 4, Bronnie McKenzie, the vice captain. 8, Dan Hunt. 6, Fiona Walsh. 11, Jane Gilligan, the captain. 13, Chucky Reid. 10, Lena Plembeck. 5, Marion Kreza. 9, Megan Keppert. And 2, Mel Patton. Now, last time these two played, we're into the second round robin now, Arnie, and the last time these two teams played, Australia ran away with the victory 5-1. But I'm very interested to see if New Zealand have changed the team up at all, to try and maybe tweak some things and strengthen up that defence. So we'll see in this game. It should be another exciting game, Arnie.
Definitely. And this will be my first look at the New Zealand girls, ladies. And first thing in the morning, let's see which teams had their shot of coffee, I guess.
Yeah, the Australian Masters women have been letting me know that they have had plenty of time to enjoy lots of coffee. They've been sending me updates of all the cafes they've been visiting in their free time, with mostly only one game a day. They're living a life of luxury up here in the Gold Coast.
Have they told you which cafe and which coffee is the best?
Yeah, it's all... I think they're still yet to make a decision.
Yeah, well, they are ladies, I suppose, making a decision. They got to take their time. Gee, the pool clarity is fantastic this morning. Thank you to the Gold Coast Aquatic Centre for managing their pool. The water is pristine.
So they're not coming up?
Well, there you go. Great start by New Zealand. They got to the puck first, but they gave possession away, but New Zealand's got it back.
Yeah, Julia Simone there, or Julia Risordo, as most people know here in Australia, just doing great work to clear it to the side.
Yeah, she must have dual passports.
Yeah. And Australia conceding an early free puck here.
So Australia back, New Zealand up, about mid-court.
I was Freckles in Greece, and he's since the last night, he said, I can hear your voice. We were talking about a few.
That was a good knockdown by Australia, but New Zealand's kept the pressure on and driven them right to the right-hand side. New Zealand's back to the possession. Again, change of possession.
Good clear there by Fiona Walsh. Going back, looking for a 1-2 here. She's got a good pass from Mel Patton. Fiona Walsh going up, finding Belle Keeley on the inside. Great flick away. Jane Gilligan into the space. Under pressure early.
Movement.
There we go, and she's finished that off, Jane Gilligan. Great movement. That was just textbook Aussie hockey there, Arnie.
It
off
was.
the back of a switch, opening up, pulling them apart, and down the middle to score.
I was about to say the linking early on in this game by the Australians are already showing great teamwork. So number 11, Jane Gilligan, captain, scoring the first goal. Captain's goal. But a great strike by New Zealand. Great formation beyond the strike. But the puck's basically back with the Australians. Here we go. It's looking good for Australia. Attacking the centre of the goal. Can they get to that? No, it's going to be cleared. All right, there obviously was an infringement by Australia along that fast break, so the Kiwis get possession back. Nice little pass there between the Kiwi forwards. Again, Australia's defence gets quick possession and starts moving it laterally on the court to try to find space in this tight Kiwi defence. But an illegal steal by the New Zealand forward has allowed Australia to regain possession a little bit further than mid-court, so they're slightly into New Zealand's defence already.
Lena Plembeck, the playing coach.
But a great knockdown by the New Zealand forward, but again.
Meg Keppert backing up her fullback and still trying to push it in towards the centre. Jane Gilligan gains control. Just playing it safe, Jane.
Just keeping possession. Now let's see what New Zealand can do to sort of build some momentum.
Thanks to Brian Stewart for commenting on the extra camera work today. Yeah, we've had a few technical issues, I think, yesterday with the camera in this court, and luckily Eric and Sean and all the technical team here have been done a great job to get it back up and running for this morning.
So Australia's puck, 5 metres out, deep in New Zealand's defence.
Bronny McKenzie flicks the puck to Jane Gilligan.
Again, a great pickup.
Shooting out hard the Kiwis.
Great defence by the Kiwis early on in this match. So it's quite obvious when the Kiwi structure is tight, their defence is sound, but Australia's managed to spread the defence and score both their goals through laterally challenging the New Zealanders. All right, so New Zealand has won possession back. Australia just created an infringement there, trying to laterally create space. See the structure that New Zealand got, 2 forwards. They basically screen and create the space for their backs to find space and move it up the court, and they've done that successfully on that stoppage. And they're building some good momentum here.
And just calm down, everybody. It's not an earthquake. It's just the camera bobbling on its rope.
Yeah, when the girls sub in, they really explode back into the game. And
New Zealand under a bit of pressure, trying to look for the flick wide, and the Australian backs clearing it now. It's Mel Patton. It's backing up her flick, staying down Mel, and good little jink there to find Belle Keeley. Looks to the inside, but that's number 10 from New Zealand, Angela Whiteman, swimming away with it. Dan Hunt, good moves, cuts up the inside. But great steal there by Gigi, and good change of direction. She's really been working on that.
Well, New Zealand's building some nice pressure here in Australia's half, but you can see Australia's just starting to get some linking going there mid-court and finding the space that they did to score their first few goals. Here we got number 7 coming in from the sub-bench with a lot of energy, and we've got numbers on the bottom for Australia. Australia's got possession. New Zealand infringed on that power play by Australia. This is a good movement by Australia, deep in New Zealand's defence.
New Zealand clearing it now, but called back though.
All right, Australia has regained possession 5 metres out, pretty well straight in front of the New Zealand goal. So let's see what they can do with this set play.
Australia getting close to the tray, and it looks like it just bobbled in. Great drive there by that left winger from Australia.
Let's see who that was. Hopefully the referees picked up the number on their cap. Sounds like we've got
A team warning against New Zealand. Decker and Marion Kreza, the Wollongong local and Kiwi expat. She gets a goal against her old teammates.
That's a much better strike by Australia. The numbers were down, so that, as you see, they're getting possession back. No, New Zealand managed to steal that back off them. But the fullbacks got it back.
Jay Gilling doing great work there in the centre to gain possession of the puck and release Fiona Walsh to the outside. She's running out of space, flicks it forward. I don't know that she had any options, but she's backed herself and she's gone around the outside. Very quick and powerful is Fiona Walsh. Joined by her teammates now fighting on the wall. Lena Plembeck.
And switching it laterally to create that space that we need to find the seams between the New Zealand defence. But just caught out by a super sub, number 3, Jenny Catran. I think that's one of their gun forwards, Jenny.
Meg Kepper just being smothered there, double teamed by the Kiwis. But Lena Plembeck, it's Dan Hunt. She's down and looking for support.
New Zealand's managed to regain possession, putting good pressure, but great steal by Andrea.
Yeah, she's got to be careful, Andrea, there. She does walk a fine line between obstructions with those underbody moves that she's so effective at. And I'm not sure, let's see what the refs have seen here. Yeah, against her, yeah. It's one of her, power moves, but it's a fine line, Arnie, when you do that move. If you foul.
She's a power player, so it's, she moves quickly. Most other bodies around her are going to move in that power shock way.
Yeah.
So
it's almost more obvious to the referee.
Yes, exactly. Oh, we may have a timeout here, or a referee's timeout. No, timeout for New Zealand.
And Andrea in the sin bin for that. I think it's only her first obstruction of the game, though. But hey, referees didn't like it. They're obviously setting the tone.
Yes, I think they're making a statement early on day 5. Look, the refereeing has been fantastic this tournament. We've got the best referees in the world, and I think they must have had a chat last night, and they're just, again, making statements early on day 5 to all the athletes that they want a very clean, perfect competition.
Exactly, Arnie. We've got 13 seconds left in timeout. New Zealand getting back into formation.
So let's
Australia down to 5.
So let's see if the New Zealand captain and coach has set up a power play for New Zealand now that they're 6v5. Let's see what they're probably wanting to take it to the other side, get it away from Australia's bench, so that for the only 1 minute penalty, they better get a move on here, New Zealand, because that 1 minute disappears very quickly nowadays.
A good flick there by Mel.
Or if they can receive this back and get it back, they're going to be right on Australia's goal.
Yeah, Mel did a great job to get possession, flick to the outside, and her winger just couldn't get there in time as the Kiwis take advantage of that and work them down the back wall.
Great defence, great getting back and supporting, but it looks like there was an infringement. As you see above, the time still is moving here in the first half with penalties, so Andrea will probably fall back in the water when this puck is taken.
and she's got to swim over to the back wall in time, potentially save a goal. She's got to really get there quickly with the team under the pump now, as we can probably see her about to come back in the water. Australia shut down the flick off the free puck. Jamie.
Great catch. Great catch by the Australian forward to stymie that movement at the front of their structure. And Australia's back to 6v6. Ben?
Yep, great work there. You saw Andrea getting there just in time. They're just holding up the wall so they can consolidate. And now that the forwards would have seen Andrea back on the water, they know that they're back to 6-on-6 and getting back in their rotations with the subbing. So again, New Zealand's got the puck deep in Australia's forward line, 5 metres out, slightly on the left. Fiona Walsh down nice and early, shoots out. Forces them to flick to the outside, which is what you want as a defensive winger. You don't want that puck going to the inside towards the goal tray. So great move there by Fiona Walsh. Oh, hang on. Unsportsmanlike contact, number 2. Against New Zealand. I didn't see that one, Arnie. That player was on the far side. It must have been not from the free puck. It must have been... we were blocked by all those bodies. It was on the other side of that contested situation. So, number 9, Inge from New Zealand is in the sin bin for 2 minutes. Megan, oh no, it's Inge van Dalen van Oors. Sounds like a South African heritage there. And you can see number 12 from New Zealand, Kelsey Miller. She does great work to pull that and shifting across the front of the tray, putting the Australians under a lot of pressure, Arnie. Great movement, 5v6 at the moment with Australia just gaining possession, but I think New Zealand might regain this. There was an infringement by Australia, didn't see it, but it was there. So New Zealand's got this puck pretty well directly in front of the Australian goal. Yeah, down to 5. They really don't want to miss this opportunity, Arnie. They've really got to keep the puck up this end and try and get a goal before the half-time. Yeah, time has flown this half. And that opportunity has been wasted by New Zealand. Zoe Firth arguing with the ref there about maybe a potential other call, but they've called gloving against New Zealand. So Zoe wasn't on the sheet, but Zoe must be the captain for this game, being the one that spoke to the referees there. Yeah, I think Bridget might be. I haven't seen Bridget in the water yet, so she might be resting. There is a rule that only the captain or the vice captain, one of each, can speak to the referee and question the referee. And that's going to be half time here. So Inga's got a few seconds left on her time penalty. So we hope she jumps back in the water and stays warm for this 3-minute break, as you see she is. And she'll pop back and flop back in the water with 10 seconds after the restart. Yeah, a really great second half of that first half, Arnie, from New Zealand's. Great defence, you know, they let those 2, not quick goals in, but 2 well-executed goals by the Australians to come down the middle and open it up. But since then, they've settled down, they've managed to get on top of the Australians, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do in the second half. Well, what was the score the first time they played? Because 5-1. I think the Australian women ran away with it in the second half last time. Well, let's see if that happens again. Look, they actually ran away with it early in this game before New Zealand settled. So, you know, 2 quick goals effectively in the first 2 minutes of this match gave Australia the ascendancy, but it's been just 1-0 after 1-0 after that. So for the last 10 minutes of that first half, you know, New Zealand were actually in Australia's defence. So they've really, you know, changed things up, and let's see what happens this second half. If they can hold
this score of 3-0, or they can start, chipping away at it. They'll obviously need to be tight on this first strike. They're still 5v6. But like I said, Inga should slide back in the water 10 odd seconds after the restart.
Now, Arnie, all the players are unaware, but they're actually, all the Australian and New Zealand teams are competing for the unofficial Trans-Tasman Test Championship. Right? Yes, there's 5 games in the round robin between the New Zealand and Australian teams. This is the 3rd game. So obviously the Masters women winning, Australia winning the first game. The other day the Masters men drew with each other, and then the result of this game will, be the 3rd game in the series with the elites. We have to play
so
each
they're
other.
joining the results of the Masters men and women?
Yeah, that's just something I'm working on.
I like the idea.
We're in the middle of this. So Australia currently, well, after this game we'll chat, but yeah, 1 win to Australia, 1 draw, and this game will get very interesting with, again, the elites yet to play each other.
Do either of these teams actually know what's going on in your head, Ben?
No, I don't even know what's going on in my head.
Yeah, exactly. But I like the way you think, Benno. I like the way you think. Here we go, restart. You'll probably see Inga just flop back in the water there. She's straight back into the game. And we're back to 6v6. So certainly at this commentary level, it makes it more exciting knowing that there could be something brewing
on the line. Yeah, something.
Yes.
We haven't had we haven't had Trans-Tasmans for a couple of years since before COVID, so it's just a little something I've been working on.
So as long as there's no underarm deliveries, we should. The spirit of the competition should be good.
Yes. Now Jane Gilligan regaining possession, flicking up the
Nice
wall to
flick.
Andrea, but knocked down.
Number 8, chop that down, Jan Nevin Wolf.
And Mel Patton busting up the wall.
They know that when they set up. Well, they should have.
And Marion now again.
So, there's a guy, Eric Straley from America, in the US, Eric?
Infringement by New Zealand. As you see, mad exchange here, getting some fresh girls in
So they do all electronic.
during the stoppage.
So they do all electronic stuff. So this
Let's see what Australia can do. I think they're going to try to move it across the court.
and zoom in and zoom out, as well as running across the track. And then they've got a camera up high.
Yep, straight away they've screened. And
But that winger wasn't there, Arnie. Lena
gave
flicked to nobody. Where was she?
Well, it sounded like and looked like the Kiwis knew what the Australians were doing before the Australians did.
But on this one, it's chalk and cheese. So what they're going to do now is put the finals. We're going to
Great movement and connection here by the Kiwis.
But they've got a splitter box and they'll change the feed.
Maybe they just heard
So it goes on
of this extra competitive reason in this match.
Yeah, playing for the nation. Now Bronnie McKenzie, she clears it, doesn't get it all the way to the safety of the corner, but luckily her teammates are down there to help shut and a Kiwi counter-attack there. Belinda Watts fighting hard on that far wall.
but it doesn't zoom.
Australia building some pressure now against New Zealand.
Now the Australians, as we said at the start of the game, Arnie, got 2 tough games today. Another game against France, who they went down to.
So France are maybe the team to beat.
Yeah,
this
they're outright
tournament.
favourites. Definitely a team to beat in this division.
You get to talk to a few
And
more
the other hard
people
game,
coming in.
other than this one, of course.
Well, then those are the main 2. They've got they're still to play to finish off the round robin. At least one of the North American teams.
So up here, you sort of you get to see
USA are okay.
what's going on. People are coming and going all day. And
Yeah, I mean the Australians did good work of USA 8-0. Likewise the
Canadians.
Canadians as well. The Kiwis 8-3 against USA, and they're both yet to play them again in the second part of the round robin. Those are coming up today and tomorrow, and then quarterfinals on Friday or semi for this division. Top seeds, so the top seed France, if they stay, they're going to go through, and then 4 and 5 play each other, 2 and 3, and there'll be.
Oh, look at this movement by New Zealand. It's starting to build.
I call in King's Cup.
Yeah, I think the way the finals are going to work, Arnie, is the 4th and 5th seed are going to play each other for a chance to play the top seed.
Yep.
And then 2 and 3 will play each other for a chance. I guess that's the semi-final for them.
To get into the gold medal
Yeah.
match. So then the top seed actually plays one less match they stay fresh.
Yeah, that's the advantage of finishing first in this division.
They stay fresh. Fantastic.
And unless Australia can do something funky with the results, they're 3 points behind France, so they're going to have to really upset them and come down to goals against to get that top position. But we'll see what happens later this afternoon when they come up against each other. Every goal against is crucial here on the ladder.
So basically Australia will most probably re-meet New Zealand to get into the gold medal match?
Yep.
Okay.
But anything can happen in this World Championships, Arnie.
Well, when you get to those knockout matches, there's even another level of pressure on the athletes because, you know, Australia could beat New Zealand every game, but that last one to get in the grand final
it counts for nothing once you get to the finals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can see Fiona Walsh doing some great work, crossing and turning across the court, finds Lena, recycling to Bronnie McKenzie. She's got a good drive here and support down. And they just drive it towards the goal. Great work there. Team goal. Bronnie McKenzie setting up her centre, Jane and Fiona Walsh, to put that one in the goal. And that's going to be 3-0 to the Aussies.
It might be Jane Fay or no, Belinda Keeley that put that in.
Belinda Keeley in centre, subbing in at centre. So Fiona and Belinda helping to score that goal off the back of the great work by those the halfbacks.
So this half, it's taken basically 5 minutes for Australia to build the pressure to get that goal. So that's you know, a good start for New Zealand in not conceding very quickly. They've obviously tightened up their structure and their defence. But let's see if that flick actually hit a body. Yeah,
what's your opinion, Arnie, as a centre? I mean, flicking forward. You know, straight into the stack of a strike. I guess it could be a little bit of space behind that four line if you land that flick, but then you got no support if you're the fastest player winning that strike.
Well, for a starter, maybe I'd be asking my centre not to flick it as high and have the opportunity of getting caught out with a dangerous flick and getting kicked out. Maybe a slider or a swerve so that you keep it close to your bat and you may be able to regain possession.
Great work there by Mel Padanani. She just sucked him into the wall and great push-pull now. She's released. She's got 3 Australians down.
Oh, this is
Andrea
really
trying to find
up.
some support. Yeah, they're really starting to open up the Kiwis now.
You can see that Australia's confidence is growing. They're taking them on in numbers.
Yeah,
great little...
not taking the foot off the pedal. Still doing all the 1%ers. Getting down for your teammates.
Again, Fiona's just working down that wall. But a slight infringement by Australia has allowed possession to go back to New Zealand. Yeah, look, there's many ways you can take a strike. I suppose from the coach's perspective, you want to try to regain the possession and move it as one down the court. So how we go about that is you can do it many ways, but I think just flicking straight into the opposition after winning the strike is not necessarily a good idea.
And I guess as a centre, as we might have to come back to this point, Arnie, but Australia clearing to the far side, should you be busting, you know, your guts every strike to win it, or sometimes you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and just conserve energy on the strike?
During my career, either playing or captaining Australia, I've always said to my team, I don't want to win any strikes unless there's a reason to. If you go out at 85%, you're worrying about structure and spacing with your teammates, and you get on the bottom and then invite the opposition and say, okay, game on. I think that's the best way to go.
Yeah, I'm sure there's, you know, you could go back and look at the stats, but I don't think, you know, unless you're doing a special team play, a spear play, winning the strike necessarily gives you a great advantage, unless you're all very fresh to go and score a goal, because both teams are, you know, obviously switched on. And that's certainly a mantra I've taken in my club hockey career.
Yes,
yes. I just like to conserve and not win strikes, otherwise I won't last a club hockey game.
Look, it actually kept a lot of my forwards very happy. Some of them weren't very fast, so they were actually happy not to win the strike because they never would anyway. Going out in control, I think, is more important than worrying about getting there first.
Back to the action. Bronnie McKenzie fighting hard and finds Lena out the back door.
Obviously infringement against Australia. New Zealand puck, centre of the court. Again, late in the second half, we've got a lot of girls subbing on every opportunity. You see both New Zealand and Australia, the numbers going straight out and coming straight back in.
So Zoe Firth takes a free puck, flicks to the inside.
So both
to Jane.
teams sub 4 people each, and there were only 2 defending and 2 attacking from both teams when it first resumed. And as you see, the spaces are starting to open up now with both teams. So, you know, there's no reason that New Zealand can't put a lot more pressure on Australia as well Australia and New Zealand.
Can I give you a stat, Arnie?
Yep.
Australia have only conceded 3 goals this whole comp. And it's an amazing defence. And France have actually conceded 5. So if they can upset France this afternoon and not concede any more goals in this game, there's a chance they are in contention mathematically to take that first spot.
Well, as I said, if you get in the gold medal match, it's 50-50, regardless of the results before. Nerves can play an issue, subs, injuries, decisions. Like yesterday, I saw a men's match between Spain and Colombia, which is like a little grudge match. And Spanish were playing really good and actually up against Colombia. And then one player, because of a headshot, got out for 5 minutes, and that changed the whole match. And Colombia came back and won against Spain, just off the back of one loose flick that hit a player in the head. So, yes, any team can win if you make that gold medal contest.
So Australia calling timeout as Bronnie McKenzie gets sent to the sin bin.
I didn't see what she did, but could have been too much. 1 minute is the minimum time for infringement, and it looks like Zoe Firth is calling a timeout here. If the referees
I think the Aussies got in there first. Oh, no, the Kiwis got in there first, used their timeout.
So I think Zoe and the coach wants to have a bit of a chat here. Australia's in a power play situation with their best fullback out of the game. So the girls know each other intimately. So I think New Zealand is saying, we've got a real opportunity here. Let's see if we can do something about it and try to get that consolation goal.
Australia leading 3-0, 4 minutes to play.
4-0.
Sorry, 4-0, you're right, Arnie. So I like that you look into stats, but I was always one, it's just head to head. But certainly if you were like the New Zealand men who have never conceded a goal, if you're going into a gold medal match and the team you're playing has never conceded a goal like us Australians back in the day, that puts an added level of pressure on the opposition. But yeah, both countries, Australia and France, have conceded goals, so that shows that there's, you know, great possibility to change the result come the grand final. So you're dead right, anything can happen in that grand final. That's if, you know, Australia gets there, of course. You know, it's a long tournament yet. Yeah, I think they've still got to get there, right? They've still got to play a semi-final. Even if whoever finished first still has to play a semi-final to get to the gold medal match, but the first seed will play one of the North American teams, so arguably an easier semi-final to get there.
But anyway, whoever gets there, you know, you both bleed, so there's always a chance.
As we've maybe put on a commentator's curse, Arnie, they're under pressure, the Australians.
Oh, and they've got that goal, New Zealand. Again, they've really made the opportunity, taken that opportunity with Australia. As you see, Bronwyn just sliding back in now.
Unlucky.
Unlucky, but time. With Australia's best defender out, that certainly gave New Zealand the chance. So Jane Nevin-Wolfe has scored that goal on the left-hand side, the left-hand wing. I'll write that down on the team sheet, and I'm sure the Jane's family and friends are really happy that she's managed to score against Australia. Feather in a cap. Look, it's been very difficult for teams to score in a power play situation these Worlds. Teams are just so good at defence. And I think that was a fantastic execution of whatever set play they had. So kudos to the Kiwi girls. And a good timeout by the captain and the coach.
Yeah, the Australians, they might not know it, but they really want to just work hard in this last 2 minutes and not concede any more goals. It's going to become crucial.
We have a referee timeout.
Allegedly.
No, they're just taking their time.
It's just clicked over here to the 2 minutes only, so the clock automatically stopping.
Good pick up, Benno.
And Mel Patton tries to clear it to the wall, not safe yet. Goes inside instead of going all the way to the wall. And Bronny under a bit of pressure. A lot of Kiwis down.
Yeah, when the sun gets there, it's straight directly to the water right there.
So Australia regains possession. Let's see now that they've got some fresh players and if they're going to switch it straight across to the other side of the court to open this game up. And so a tight group of forwards there. No, they're choosing to go down the wall.
See Zoe Verth working hard.
Oh, great movement there by New Zealand. I think Jane said that's enough. I want to open this game up.
Yep, they've managed to execute a great forward line switch and gotten it back to the halfback. Again, another great link passion to play. Marion Kreza backing herself, flicking on the inside, flicking over that Kiwi player. And if the Aussies can just keep the puck up this end, they should close this game out.
Anyway, a great textbook switch by Australia to open this game right up. Oh, that flick was caught.
Good second effort by Bronny, though. She stayed down and backed her flick.
Yep, perfect. But somehow there must have been an illegal, a chopping foul by New Zealand. So Australia will, or should, like as Ben say, close this match out with 40 seconds to go and possession mid-court, open side.
Bronny, Fiona Walsh almost didn't see where that puck landed.
Exactly. It was that quick and that high, she lost vision. Great defence there. They were right on the last line of defence there on the New Zealand goal, but Australia's regained, and now they're going to switch it back. Is 17 seconds enough to score this last goal?
Yeah, they just bought a house. They've been ringing me with advice for builders.
4-1 late in this match. So from past results, it looks like the Kiwis have managed to keep one goal back from the last result of 5-1, was it?
Yeah, so very similar. 5-1 last time, 4-1 this time. But as we've said, Arnie, if they meet up again in the semi-final, anything could happen.
Exactly. One headshot, one person out for 5 minutes can really change the match.
And that's going to be time here. So Australia take a 2-win lead in the unofficial Trans-Tasman Championship with a draw. I'm not sure how draws work, but having not played before, nobody can retain it based on the draw. But I'll do some of my own research and get back to you on that when the elites start to play each other.
Well, look, I like the idea, and obviously the New Zealand and Australian people out there, they're probably going to get back to you on the Snapchat and say it's a great idea, or maybe they don't like it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But I like the idea of, you know, a male-female Trans-Tasman. Fantastic.
All right, we'll leave it there, Arnie. We've got a big day ahead of us, mate. Got to rest our voices. We'll see you all again. Stay tuned. Australia, France later in the day. It's going to be a cracking match.
Good morning to all the viewers.
That's it, we're off. 11 minutes. You're off for 11 minutes. Yeah, there's two cameras. This one here I was operating yesterday, but because it's twisting, all down here. Yeah, just this is not great, I suppose. Well, I'm half on this. Even that, there was nothing there at all. And they caught us those steps, and then I found some kickboards and I lost them down just to get up to that height. Yeah, it's harder for the shorties. So who won? Aussie? Kiwis? 3-1. Yeah. Heaps of new faces. Yeah. All the GB boys.
I only know two of them.
Al? Yeah?